So I must get the question about once a week. Jaffe, what do I do if I want to be a game designer? What if I do if I want to make games? And I'll say the same old stuff: learn this, learn that tool, this, that, and the other. But what is becoming more and more apparent to me, and what is the kind of advice that I tend to give out? I don't I cannot comprehend, based on what I know, and what I know is mostly what you know. It's not like I have a lot of inside data about this particular topic. Why you would want to go in and work at a company in AAA? Why, I know a lot of y'all who watch this particular stream and channel and whatnot love the AAA, and that's great. And if you want to make games, I can totally understand this idea of, I want to make the kind of stuff that I grew up loving, or I want to make the kind of stuff that I love now, and that's the big budget, blah, 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 blah. But the realities of that job have changed and are continually changing so much that unless you have like a guarantee that you're going to get a big seat at the table, it just seems like heartbreak, a lot of moving around the fucking country. I mean, it used to be that the winning the lottery was you put your AAA game out or your big game out and it was a big hit and everybody got bonuses and shit. That was the lottery. Now the lottery is, can you actually put a game out at all that let alone a game that has a little bit of heart and soul and vision? I want to show you this story that's breaking right now. This is not the game, that's Mafia 3, but Take-Two cancels unannounced. They've already spent $53 million on this game. It was codenamed Volt, which was sort of a inside name based on Voltron. I guess the enemies could combine together. I would assume it was a 3-player co-op game. I would assume the 3 players could also combine together. Sounds kind of interesting, kind of cool. It was a games as a service, Destiny style game, they're saying. It had been in production since 2017. So you're talking about a large team that has spent 4 years, give or take, 3 years, give or take, whatever, somewhere in between, of their lives, of their passions, of their craft, of their talent, on something that probably you could have looked at back then and said, I don't know if this is going to come to fruition anyway, right? I mean, everybody's chasing this games as a service thing. Avengers. Now, again, I mean, this was 3 years ago, 4 years ago. You don't know what you don't know till you know it. I get it. I'm not saying, hindsight's 2020, all that shit. I understand. But it's just like one of those things that if you're talented enough to get a job at a company like Take-Two and this company within Take-Two, which was Hangar 13, then you're talented enough to figure out how to get a small group of people and make your own shit and control your own destiny. Yeah, you may not get to do it right away full time, and I understand that. I understand the value of that. But I mean, again, everybody's different. I get it. If you want to be the guy or the girl on the team that's working on the fabric texture of the jackets and clothes, and that really brings you joy, and you can live with the fact that, there's a 30-40% chance your game will get greenlit but never come to fruition. And then you have to move 8 times in your career all over the country, maybe all over the world. I mean, again, I'm not kind of like being an ass when I say it like, well, you could do that. I mean, there are people that say, no, I want that. I want that experience. And I respect that. I want to come in at QA at a big company and I want to work my way up to producer and a designer. And one day I want to be Neil Druckmann. I want to be Cory Barlog, I'm down. I mean, hey, God go with you if I believed in God. But since I don't, here, I have this on my desk. Here, Steven Universe, go with you. I'll help you. Absolutely. But most people who go into this industry do it because they love games, they're inspired by games, they love technology, they love playing with all the toys and shit. And there's a point that you just kind of go, when you see stories like this, I'm just saying, this advice may not be for anybody but one person. That's okay. Here's my advice to you. If you're a AAA guy, AAA girl, that's great. Open your mind a little bit, and I don't mean to be condescending, but a lot of people I talk to on this stream won't even give indie games, AA games, time of day, which is ludicrous. There is so much creativity, so much great stuff about this medium happening in that space right now. So step one, open your mind up and expose yourself to some of those games. If it turns out that you're as excited and inspired by those games as the big games, then entertain the thought in your brain that maybe, just maybe, you don't need to go down this path. There are so many people carving their own paths now in the video game industry, in the indie space, even things like, building in Roblox, building in Core, and monetizing that. I mean, it's so different that just when I see a story like this, I've been on teams like this, man. I mean, I've never had a $53 million game canceled, but if you're like me, and I imagine most people on teams that do this for a living are, you put everything into your work. You fall in love with the characters, you fall in love with the gameplay, you envision it, you try to will it into existence, and then things that are totally out of your control. Some executive at Take-Two waking up and reading the numbers and going, I don't think this is going to compete because we're looking at sales coming in from Square Enix on Avengers, and you know what, we don't want to take that gamble. Okay, I mean, this is not like Take-Two's running out of money. They fucking publish the most successful video game of all time, along with a bunch of other big fucking hits, sports games and all that. But they're just saying, no, we're going to cut our losses, okay? But there are people in the team that probably genuinely still believe in this, that gave their all for this. And now they're like, well, I mean, no one knows if they're going to get fired. They're saying, hey, there's other games at 2K you could work on, or this team still has a future. We can make, I'm not saying, things happen. You gotta break some eggs to make an omelet, as the kids say. But boy, I'll tell you, what a disappointment. My heart goes out to these folks. No one's been laid off yet. Hopefully they won't, unless they deserve it, frankly. But hopefully no one deserves it. It's just bad circumstance and they won't get laid off. And hopefully they'll land on their feet. And hopefully, maybe this will be, what was it? Destiny was, not Destiny, Overwatch was Giants or something. Or Titan or something that wasn't working, and that gave birth to Overwatch, which was a huge hit. Sometimes that's the process, right? But man, it's so disappointing. It is so heartbreaking when this happens. So my heart goes out to them because I know that pain. It's like falling in love. You fall in love with these creations if you're one of the folks that are really engaged in birthing it, and to have it kind of ripped away, it's like, nope, sorry, we're not making it. It's very painful, and it's common, it happens, so it's part of the job. But maybe it doesn't have to be part of the job, or maybe it does, but it's your decision, or you and 3 or 4 other key people in a small indie little cabal, they get together online all over the world and say, we're going to make this fucking thing. I don't know, man. I don't know why you would go down this road. What a nightmare. I would never, if I was starting again, I would never fucking get back into AAA. I would do indie. Because AAA, what fun is it? Unless you're guiding the ship, what fucking fun is it? I don't get it. But, your mileage may vary, but I wanted to comment. I wanted to say that. Even if one person hears it and says, you know what, Jaffe's right. I'm going to go make my own shit. I'm going to get my little boat. It's a tiny little boat. Nowhere near as big as Sony's boat or Take-Two's boat or Microsoft's boat, but it's my fucking boat. And I can steer it wherever the fuck I want. Yeah, I may have to take a shitty job 9 to 5. That's okay. I'll have energy to come home. I can think about my game at work. I can work on the weekends. I can steer my little ship wherever the fuck I want to go. It's hard to say that ain't a good thing, fellas. See you soon. Bye.